before I went live. Let's get it stabilized. A little windy today. Got some not storms. There's some rain to the south. Look at a tree of knowledge right here coming out of my head. I don't know. Or the roots of destruction. I'm not sure which. One or the other. Happy Wednesday. Today is the Litecoin halving or halvening day. Which is it? Not real sure. I think halvening just refers to more of the event. You know, the halvening, the quickening, that kind of thing. And then halving, it's really a halving of rewards, the block rewards. And it was very interesting to watch. I watched the live stream on Twitch TV with Crypto Jack. Pretty cool dude. And he had several people in the Litecoin community on. He had Master on. He had can't remember who else. Anyway, then he had Charlie Lee on, and they were talking about Litecoin. Of course, because today is when it halves. Their block reward halves. It went from 12.5 to 6.25. And you gotta love Charlie Lee's subtle humor. He says, well, hopefully it doesn't break. He said the same thing with when Wimble was launched. You know, so there's always that, could happen, never know. And that's it. It's all over. It's broken. I don't think it's broken because you've had a lot of blockchains that broke and had to be restarted. Litecoin's not one of them, though. And so for almost 12 years, it's been running nonstop. And it's kind of it's a really, because in my mind, I'm sitting there thinking, what if it does break? What if something happens? What if somebody got the code wrong? What if it's not right? I mean, it's the rewards have halved twice in the past, but this is the third time, I think. And it worked. I got 2,520,000, I think it was. Whatever 840,000 times 3 is. It got to that block number, and then boom, that was it, the halving. You can look at the block rewards, the one before it, 12.5 Litecoin for the miner. That one, and going forward, 6.25. So it worked flawlessly. And now we get to see Litecoin get cut in half, right? Isn't that what happens? The price goes from $90 to $45. That's what a lot of people will say. That's it. It's over. Nobody's going to mine it anymore. They're going to take the hash power away, all the mining power away. They're still getting rewarded for Dogecoin, and they're just getting half of the Litecoin now. So, I mean, if Litecoin's not high in price, they're really not losing much by taking away the mining power, right? Or gaining much, I should say. So what's it? It doesn't cost much. Just keep mining it. It's all good. No, it's fine. But it's fun to watch. It's when you get into the blockchains. I looked at blockchair.com, and you can watch the actual blockchains, and you can see the transactions in each block. You can see the doors shutting. You can see all the rewards and all that stuff. So it's interesting stuff. If you really want to get into it, go to these one of these explorers. Charlie was looking at another one that the Litecoin Foundation just lit up. Not 100% sure which one it is. Maybe I can go look at it and find out. Go to litecoin.net and we'll see what I can find. Maybe it'll have a block explorer there. Cruise, got a crypto cruise coming up in October. You can go on that. I don't know. I don't see it. There it is, Explorer. Explorer.litecoin.net. I don't think that's the one he was talking about. He was talking about lightspace.com or something like that, but that was not bad. Yeah, I guess maybe that's it. Lightspace. Explorer.litecoin.net. You can see all the blocks. Oh, that's pretty cool. More of a graphical interface. You can see each block, when it occurred, how much is in it, how many transactions, what the size and memory, or I should say space, getting used up. Pretty neat. See the miner that mined the block. But anyway, all that technical stuff. I just know that it works as sound money, and so I'm good with that. Wimble transactions, pretty cool. Private, nobody knows. All right, so that happened today, went off without a hitch, and so here we are. There's less Litecoin coming onto the market every day. Less today than yesterday. Still working. So, just saying. Less available. Charlie's pretty conservative, Charlie Lee, and he's got these really cool things coming out. He's kind of a little bit of a collector, but he's got these cool Litecoin cards, ballet cards, that the ballet wallet, where it's got a QR code. It's a physical wallet. You can put your your private keys on it, but use it in conjunction with an app. But you can scan your Litecoin right onto it. And there's other cryptos too. But there's this new card coming out. Charlie said he's made we got 500 of them being made, and it's going to contain a full block right from the miner of 6.25 Litecoin, and it's on a card from Ballet that's 50 grams of silver. So I mean, not quite 2 ounces. So that's kind of neat. I like that. Well, not even, I shouldn't say not quite 2 ounces. It's like 1.5 ounces or something. But that's pretty cool. I like that. That's a nice collectible. He's going to have it encapsulated in PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service. Anybody that knows anything about coins or even other sports memorabilia, but coins specifically is how I know them. That and NGC, those are the two big grading companies. It's going to be, that Litecoin block's going to be in a plastic holder, verified by PCGS with the label on it, so you know what you have is legit. It's got 6.25 Litecoin on it. Never been touched, never been used. You can't say it was used for money laundering and, the wars in Ukraine, anything like that. Putin didn't use it. The Chinese didn't use it. No, it came right out of creation. The code created it, and the miner has it, and those 6.25 Litecoin are going to be on that card. You have it, and it's a really cool collectible. They did one with the prior block size, 12.5. It was a lot more. I think it cost like 18 Litecoin to buy it, and you got made out of silver, something like that. I didn't get one. I missed the boat on that one. I don't know what I was thinking, but anyway, I'm going to pick up one of these. It's pretty cool. Nice collectible. Also, what I was going along with, and I'll get off the Litecoin stuff and move on to the other stuff, but with Charlie Lee today, like I said, he's very conservative. You ask him about price, he's not going to tell you. He's just like, I don't want to talk about it. He just wants to talk about, hey, it's working. That's all. And to an extent, it's true. The price doesn't really matter. It's what value you put on it, and that value denominated in dollars. It just doesn't matter. It's kind of it's its own money. Pretty soon, things will be valued in Litecoin, in Bitcoin. How much do I have to use? How many Satoshis, how many Litoshis do I need to spend and give you to get something in return? And that's how we have to value things. That's how we should value things, because we know how many there are. And so you can place a value on it. It's like, I've got this, and there's only so many, and you've got that, you got a lot of them. All right, let's come to an agreement on what the fair value is. So anyway, the conservative thing, what I did like, he was talking about what's coming in 2024, because, the host was asking questions. Well, how do you see things going? What do you think's coming next? And Charlie had specifically mentioned the big funds, the ETFs, the BlackRocks, coming into it. And he said the next year will be very interesting, is how he put it, which doesn't tell you a lot. But he said, I think a lot of people will be caught off guard. And for him to say something like that, that's, because he doesn't say things like that. But I got the impression that he saw, some big things coming. And I interpret it just from my own perspective, my own research, my view on things. I look at it as, when you've got big money coming in from the institutions, they're going to want to go into the solid projects, the ones that they don't have to worry about. Why do you think they're doing a Bitcoin ETF? That's what they all want to start with, a Bitcoin ETF, because that's the one that's been running the longest. I mean, that's the one they want to use. That's the sun in the sky. I mean, Litecoin's always right next to it, though, so I don't think it'll be too long before you'll see something like that with Litecoin. And so the big money is coming, and they're going to want the best assets, the soundest assets, the pristine assets. They're not going to get involved in, they will, venture capitalists and that kind of money will get involved in all these coins that get created out of nothing and pump and dump. They'll do that, absolutely will, and they'll take your money from you. And very few of you will win, because that's how it's rigged. But the solid assets, where the big institutional money is going to come into those solid coins. Am I for that? And do I think that's a great thing? Not really. It's what it is at this point, because we didn't get off our butts soon enough and start using crypto for what it is. We're going to sit back and hodl it until, price goes way up, because all the big money's coming into it. Of course, that's what's going to happen. That's the end game. That's why it's here. But the thing is, we could have maybe, if enough people got together, said, hey, listen, we don't want to participate in this anymore. Let's start using this stuff. Let's build our own ecosystem. That's what we've got to do. But they're going to come in and they're going to take as much as they can of it. So there's going to be scraps of it left for us to use. And Hey, they'll have warehouses full of gold and silver, and we'll get a few coins. Be the same kind of thing. So get it while you can, I think. Just my thought. And start using it as the money that it is in the ecosystem, and keep it in that ecosystem. Use it with people who are going to, use it again. Use it as money. It works, obviously. I watched it work. I watched the blockchain. The code worked, and boom, automatically the block changed. The reward changed. So, I mean, it's good stuff. I mean, it really is. I have confidence in it. So, there you go. Like that means anything. All right, what was the title of the show? Lord, get off on the Litecoin stuff. Go on that forever. I'm not going to do it. Go watch my old videos. It's the same thing. Talk about the same stuff. Litecoin, Mimble, sound money for the digital age. Only enough for 0.01 Litecoin for everybody in the entire world. Been running for almost 12 years, uninterrupted. Sound money for the digital age. Litecoin. All right, the title, Litecoin Halving, talked about that. Debt downgrades. All right, the United States government. Let's go to zero hedge. I was just looking at this. I can find it. All right, here we go. Yield surge after Treasury boosts auction sizes more than expected. Sees debt issuance tsunami on deck. Okay, issuing more debt. Tsunami coming. And the article goes in to say that, well, they issued a lot more debt than we thought. And actually, let me give you a few quotes out of this article. And this is why Fitch, one of the big ratings agencies, downgraded the U.S. debt yesterday or the day before. It's not good. Because a lot of that, it's tied to, what are the sound investments that people are going to get into? And, it's pristine debt, so we want to buy that debt. Well, it got knocked down a notch. That's not a good thing. I've got my Litecoin watch on. Coin Vigilante, if you want to pay with Litecoin. And then, my buddy's in the house. I see, all I got to do is put Litecoin in the title, and I know I'm going to draw him out, and he's going to start making comments. Litecoin's going to zero. It's going to $45. Find something else to do, would you? Anyway, we're going to talk about debt now. We already talked about Litecoin. Yield surge after Treasury boosts auction sizes more than expected. Big picture showed that U.S. predicted a near record $1 trillion in debt sales in the current quarter. They need to raise that much money. And why are they raising that much money? And they're saying the numbers are so staggering, they are usually associated with economic crisis. And why is that? Because they want to go ahead and create a bunch of money to keep the economy going, to keep, basically that's what it comes down to. In this case, a surge in debt issuance meant to sustain the illusion of the deficit busting Bidenomics, which has managed to keep the U.S. economy from imploding only thanks to massive new debt and deficit spending. It's not just Bidenomics, it's every president. Because here's what happens. When you live in a Ponzi scheme, all right, put that down. When you live in a Ponzi scheme, you need more money because each dollar bill that's created has debt associated with it. And that debt has to be paid back. So if you create $100 and that's the start, well, let's say you got, 5% interest. Okay, you got to pay back $5 with that 100. So you got to pay back $105. How do you pay back the $105 when there's only been 100 created? Well, you got to create more, so you have to borrow more into existence. Well, when you borrow more into existence, hey, I need to borrow $200, and then I'll pay back this 105 and I'll have 95 left. Well, when you borrow $200, now you've got 5% interest, let's say, attached to that. You got to pay back 210, and so on and so on and so on until it compounds and compounds until we get to the situation where we're all at now. And that's exactly why we have this problem. We have to continue to create more debt because we have to service the existing debt. And as it says in the article, we're now, for the first time in history, going to have $1 trillion in interest on the debt that's already been created. $1 trillion. I remember back in the 80s when the budgets, you had Ronald Reagan in the Congress, and oh my gosh, we've got $200 billion deficit, spending or whatever it is. And it's just, the numbers now are so astronomically more. We're spending $1 trillion on interest alone for the debt. Still creating more debt. But you got to create more debt to pay for the interest on the existing debt, and you got to create more debt because you're overspending every year I mean, where does it end? I mean, it ends at some point when people say, I'm not buying the debt anymore. And so that's why the yields are rising on the debt that's been issued today. And that's the big news, is that we want higher yield. We want more rates. We don't want to buy this stuff at 5%. We want an 8% yield. And that just compounds and compounds, because you got to pay that interest back. Now you got to pay more interest back and the debt ratings, go down. And so, okay, we got to pay more interest, because got to make it more attractive for people to want to buy the debt. And this is the death spiral that we're in right now. And it doesn't matter what president's in. It does not matter, because you see it raise every time. It goes up. It has to. Otherwise, the economy tanks and it implodes, because you need that money. You need that money circulating. And if you don't, it's over. So that's why every president has to have a crisis, and we got to print money. We got to create more money and make the system flush with money. And then all the wrong people, benefit from that, and we are where we are. We get robbed every day through inflation because we live in a vampire casino. Anyway, all right, there's our debt problem in a nutshell. The other thing, free energy. Well, not free energy. I've seen the Healy. He's big on, I don't know if it's TikTok, but it looks like he recently joined Twitter, and I started following him. I'm like, he gets like 1 or 2 likes on his videos. And for the last week, a little over a week, he's been talking about this LK99 thing. I'm like, what is this? That's all he's talking about, this LK99, and how if it's true, it's revolutionary, it's a big deal. And he's not as passionate and wild and crazy as I am. He's much more calm, subdued, and collected, and looks at facts, and instead of me, I just pull it out of the air. It's like, trust myself. Heck with it. I don't need to listen to anybody else. Direct conduit to the heavens. Pick up the red phone. All right, so anyway, this LK99. Again, this is a Zero Hedge article. Insanely bullish for humanity is the title. Hype soars around new LK99 superconductor material. I'll just read a few. I mean, this is kind of a big deal. I don't understand it a whole lot, but it looks like a big deal. It says, there's been a lot of excitement on social media about the claim of a new superconductor that works at room temperature, but also under ambient pressure. If the claims are true, the world could be nearing a new type of superconductor that some experts liken to the invention of the transistor. Okay, see, this is one of the things, my point in all this, one of the things that can move us forward, get us out of this malaise, this whirlpool that's stuck in the stream of life. We're just spinning and not going down the river of life, the stream of life. We're just like stuck in this whirlpool. We need to break out of it and get back in the stream, and progress and go places. All right, we need to innovate. We need new technology. We need to release some of this stuff and find it, discover it, or rediscover it. All right, this is one of them, this LK99 stuff. Last month, South Korean researchers published 2 new papers on what they say is a groundbreaking achievement: the development of a superconductor that operates at room temperature and standard atmospheric pressure. This is a huge step forward, because until now, all superconductors require low temperature and high pressure to work, significantly restricting their real-world applications. Okay, so they got to be in perfect conditions. And it's like, okay, you can't just do it over here. It's got to be in controlled environments, Well, this, it sounds like, really doesn't need to be in much of a controlled environment. Just put it out there in nature and let it go. Superconductor utilizes a lead-based material called LK99. Such a breakthrough would be a massive leap for more efficient energy transfer and the developing of more powerful maglev trains. Is that magnetic levitating train? Is that what that is? Okay. And this just gives an example. Nick Chang, an analyst of Jefferies Financial Group, told clients, if LK99 is proved to be true and able to be mass produced, it would be disruptive for a wide range of industries. Chang continued, cables could be made that transmit power without loss. Now you think about that. Think about electricity. Benny, let me get to Benny. Warrior is an electrician. We met him yesterday on Litecoin Lisa's channel, meeting people in the community. Absolutely an amazing interview, discussion. What a great dude. Always got a great vibe from him. And man, even better. Just what a good dude. I mean, go watch that on Litecoin Lisa's channel. He's an electrician, so he knows what I'm talking about. Hey, if I want to run power from the house all the way over to there to the other side, how much loss am I going to have? Okay, it's like, okay, well, yeah, this usually carries so many amps. Okay, in a distance, how many volts, amps, all that stuff. I don't know. He's the electrician. He can help me out. But I know that you have loss on these wires. So you can have a lot of loss, so you got to gauge it up, or gauge it down, I guess you could say. The wire has to be bigger to carry it more. You got to overkill it to get it out there. And you look at the transmission wires, you got what, not repeaters, but maybe they call it repeaters, the electricity, substations and all this stuff, because you got to repeat it. Same with in the tech world, you got to repeat it. You can only go like 100 meters, on the Ethernet, and then you have to repeat it. You got to some different device that re-encapsulates it and sends it again. Anyway, cables could be made that transmit power without loss. It's a pretty big deal, I think. Wires everywhere. If we don't have any loss, what's that mean? What happens at that point? Saving energy and advancements could be made in computer chips, rail transport, and medical imaging as well. So I don't know what all this means, if it's true. This could be the revealing and the unwinding, the bringing out, the epiphany of new devices that's going to help bail us out of this and get back, because that's what it is. Like I said, we're just living in this malaise. We're living in this standstill. We're just sitting and spinning, more ways than one. And we need to get out of it. What's going to get us out of it? Discovering new technologies, rediscovering technologies, moving forward, making things more efficient. This is one of those things. LK99. So I'll just leave it at that. Looks like an interesting thing. Very cool. And then we have China threatens to weaponize rare earth materials. Okay, yeah, all this stuff. Stick with the program. What's the other title? New energy. Downgrades, new energy. I guess I'm done. I'm out of here. No, I'll check the chat here in a little bit. But those are exciting things. I look forward to that. I look forward to a world where, we're not just doing the same old thing again, the same old control structure, to where everybody is, okay, this is the way it's always been done. There's no way around it. We've been using the same, energy for the last 100 years. That's the only thing that works. Well, what about this technology? I heard this guy was working on this. Oh yeah, he ended up dead. Oh, somebody bought that technology. Oh, the building burned down and all the technology was lost. You hear these stories all the time. We can't just be stuck in doing the same things forever. I used the example of, in 1980, you could go buy maybe it was like late 80s. I don't know, somewhere around there, a Ford Fiesta. Look at the fuel economy that little thing got. Now they got the new version of the Fiesta, but the old one, they got really good gas mileage. And now these small cars really don't get any better. Like 40 years, and what have we done? How have we improved anything? Not a whole lot. We haven't. So it's like we're just stuck doing the same old thing again. Insanity, right? All right. So I embrace this new technology. I know it's all out there. I feel it's all out there, and it's just a matter of, it's got to be rediscovered. It's got to be brought out. So I think it's a positive thing, and hopefully this is one of those things that do that. All right, check the chat. I know, here we go. Let's hear how horrible Litecoin is. Been working for 11 years. It's a terrible thing. Okay, let's look at the live chat. I can't do it. Technology not working for me. Check it over here where I can see, because I'm getting older. Might be able to see better here on the big screen. All right, make sure it's turned down so you don't hear the double echo. One is enough. Okay, here's the chat. Who's in the chat? Let's start from the beginning. The Rand, awesome. JB Rants, listening at work again. John Voth, man, glad you're in the house. Crypto Chris Card in the house. Daddy O in the house. Yeah, man, talking about those encapsulated cards. It's pretty cool stuff. Warrior, yeah, we was talking about you, Warrior. Absolutely a great interview. It was perfect. It was really, hey, Gary M, long time, man. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed that interview. Lisa used to do that all the time on her channel. And in fact, I think that might have been the first time I ever did an interview. I think was on her channel when she was, just interviewing crypto peeps and getting their stories, crypto journeys, she'd call it. And she hasn't done that in a while. And I think it's really cool, man. I like that she got back to that and had you on. I mean, it's really good to meet each other, especially when we're so far away and we can't go to meetups. You know, here you are in the down cycle. There's not a lot of money. You know, we bought crypto here and it's down here. And oh, geez, what do we do? And so it's pretty cool that we've got this technology and that she would do that, and we could meet each other using the tools that are out there and really get a feel, get a flavor for that person. I mean, we do through tweets, messages, spaces, that kind of thing, but to actually get the full impact, the visual. My mug's been out here for, I don't know, 5 years, you know, talking whatever. But it's really neat that, you know, to meet other people and get that visual and what you imagine and how it really, you know, the person really looks and how accurate you are, that kind of thing. It was a great interview yesterday. Really was. I mean, you've led a pretty cool life, and what it comes down to is, like you said, man, just trust yourself, look inward. You've got all the tools inside. Don't listen to all the trolls that tell you how to do things, all the vampires that say this is the way it is, just come on in and do it this way. No, trust yourself. It's a much bigger world, much bigger place, much bigger universe than, you know, somebody that's stuck in their basement just criticizing people. I mean, give me a break. We've got a lot of those out there. Get out in the world a little bit. Do something. Show yourself. See that face. Know who you are. What was the language you used yesterday, Warrior? It was not the universe, the spirits. How did you say it? I can't remember what it was. It was a really good one though. I mean, it kind of summed it all up. I listened to, not my spirit guides. I listened to I don't even know what it was. I think the universal, you know, the universe, you know, that's what I call it. What did you call it? Put it in there. All that is. Yeah, all that is. I mean, that sums it up. It's like, I am that I am. You know, it's all that is. It's all that is. And it's a great summation of it. Very simple, but profound. I mean, it really is all that is. There you go. Nothing more to say. And Gloria, thanks for hopping in. You know what? I noticed when I did this live, and on Gloria, I see you in the chat in Papa Joe's channel a lot, and I realized when I turned it on, I scheduled it, and then immediately I saw a notification that he was going to go live on his show, and I'm like, oh. So I fumbled it around, tried to push it, you know, and I messed it up and didn't do it right. So I said, well, it is what it is. And so I went live. So I apologize for stepping on toes. I mean, what do you do? I just, you know, the people I know, the close friends that, you know, have their channels, I hate to, you know, they've got a set time when they like to do things, and I'm just kind of rogue and do it whenever I feel like it, because that's how I roll, and whenever I'm motivated and feel like I should say something, that's when I do it. So I apologize stepping on his toes a little bit today, Papa Joe. So anyway, thanks for being here, Gloria. 4 put out of 5 voices, man, stay home and clean the guns. There you go. Stay home and clean the guns. Sometimes it's a good time to do that. You know, on days like this where it's going to rain, it's like, stay home and clean the guns. Count the coins, you know, do that kind of stuff. Yeah, thanks, Daddy-O. Hit the like button. Thanks for monitoring the chat. I can't do it. You know, it's live. I mean, you make the decision. I've given you the hammer, given you the wrench, and you do what you got to do. There's a couple of people that got the wrench in here, and, you know, swing away, Meryl. Swing away. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's one thing to be critical, but it's another thing to be just hyper focused on one message, on one person, and try to, you know, that's all you do. That's your purpose in life, is just to try and bring somebody down. It's like the Department of Justice and Trump, and it's like that's your only purpose, is to, you know, like not let him do something, you know, to try and find anything you can on someone and just beat them up and try and, you know, bring them down. I mean, what kind of existence is that? Who wants to live like that? I don't want to live like that. I mean, I got other things to do. Give me a break. So now, thanks, Daddy-O, for tweaking the wrench. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. See, no coincidences, Warrior. You said rainy days are good days to roll change. All right, yeah, exactly. Whack-a-troll. I spent this morning, and see, I just haven't been motivated to do it because I got to sit down, I got to get jars out and separate them. I count all the change. All right, this is crazy, but I do. All right. So my daughters, my wife, they don't spend change. I mean, my daughter, she's a waitress, and so she'll get a lot of change, small bills, all that stuff. You gotta have your own bank and make change, on the fly, and so she'll bring home change, all kinds of it. And so here you go, Dad, count the change, have fun. Keeps me busy, I guess. So I count all the change. I go through it all. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for those 1964 and before quarters and dimes, Like, all right, looking at the edge. Do I see any of those? Didn't find any this time. Usually I will. Okay, so I'll separate all those. I'll take my quarters and dimes and I'll throw them in a jar by themselves. If there's no silver in it, it's just like, all right, that's kind of junk coins to me. That's the junk coin, of any coin out there. And so if I ever cash it in for something, which I usually don't, I just kind of keep it around because it's easy to, if you need a little bit, you can pay with it. I mean, if things really fall apart, you can still pay with that stuff. People recognize it. But I'll keep those. I'll separate those in one jar. And then I'll go through and I'll take all the nickels out, throw those in one jar because those are easy. Because you don't have to look at the edge or anything. You can go into the bank to this day and still buy nickels, and you get more metal content when you walk out than when you walked in. And what that means is you can go buy a $100 box of nickels for a $100 bill, which, how's that different than a $1 bill? Well, it's got 2 zeros extra on it and it's got a different person on it. Okay. Yeah, go figure. But you can walk out with $100 worth of nickels, and you don't have to sort through them because a nickel today is just like a nickel in the past. It has 75% copper and 25% nickel. So you've got the metallic value. And so when you're buying $100 worth of nickels, you're actually getting like, I don't know, $110 or something back in metal content. You don't need to melt it down, because who's melting down 1964 and before quarters and dimes? They're not. It's the silver content that's in it. It's over like 20 times the face value. So, that quarter is worth $5. That dime is worth $2. And you can go to any coin show, dealer, show, whatever, and and anybody, they'll give you money for it. And so you don't need to melt it down to get the metal. It holds its value in the metal. Same with the nickels in the future. It's going to be, oh, okay, those have 75% copper and 25% nickel. Okay, that has value. And just like, the silver quarters and dimes do now. So, oh my gosh, each one of those is worth, 25 cents now. It's 5 times more. So you don't need to melt it down. It's just a store of value is all it is. And you can always spend it at face value if you want to. So it's kind of a no-lose if you got the space to do it. You want to lug it around. All right, so I sort out the nickels, and then I even sort out the pennies. I know, crazy, right? So going through the change, I found about 4 wheat pennies. Those are easy. You see it on the back. You get the wheat leaves, got those out, and I store those separately. And then what I do is go through all the pennies, because in 1982 we had a shift in the copper penny from copper to mostly zinc. Before that, it was like, I think 95% copper. It might have been 97.5% copper, but they switched in 1982, so you really don't know in 1982 if it's copper in it or if it's mostly zinc. So if you go 1981 and before pennies, boom, take those out. That's 95+% copper. Yeah, and those are worth like 2.5 cents each. 2.5 times. All right, because of the copper content. Cool. So that's easy to sort through. It's the newer ones, like 1982 and forward. When you get into, so if it's 1983 and forward, boom, put that in another jar. It's mostly zinc, not even worth a penny in metal value. And 1982 is the trick. You find those, set those aside, and I got a little scale, put it on grams, and when I throw the penny on there, if I don't know if it's, mostly zinc, mostly copper, you kind of tell sometimes, but you put it on there, and if it says 2.5 grams, it's mostly zinc. If it says 3 or 3.1 grams, then it's mostly copper. And then you can separate it that way. You can get these little scales, get them off Amazon, little tiny digital scale, set it to grams and do that. So that's what I do in my spare time. I go through all this money. That's proof of work. Because why would I just give money away? Because that's what you're doing. If you don't go through that change. If you find 1 silver dime in there, that's worth $2 or more. Why wouldn't you do it? And a lot of people don't care, though. And I'm just not that way. I have a respect for money. I value money in a different way because if it either holds your energy or it doesn't. And I'm willing to put the time into those things that will maintain energy, will allow you to use it at a later date, or just have it as a store of value. And that's all it is. A store of value is just something you hold for a later date to be used. That's all it is. It has value. Okay, I can use that value for something else later when I need it. I like those things. And it's fascinating though, looking at the money and how it's changed, how we don't have real money anymore. We have nothing in the money. And it's slow degradation of our energy, the bleeding of our energy. And that's why I call it a vampire casino, because they change the poker chips. You look at the coins, they change the poker chips. You're in there playing and you're like, hey man, we got silver coins, we got copper coins, still have nickel and copper coins. It's like the last thing that has value that's being made is the nickel, that you can buy at face value and actually win against the banks. But as you're sitting at the table over the years, you keep playing in this casino like we've been doing. They've been swapping the chips out. It's like the Roman Empire shaving coins. They've been swapping them out and saying, wait a minute, these chips are a little bit different. No, it's got the same thing on it. It still says 10. But you're like, it just feels different. I don't think it's the same. Oh, you're fine. It's still 10. And then, guess what? No, it's not. So, little analogy, I guess, long-winded story of what I do and why I do it, because I see what's happened. We've gotten robbed. They've stolen our energy by playing in this game, this casino. Vampires, that's what they are. All right, chat, what do you got? Got anything good? Ugh, yeah, Daddy-O. No, don't take those copper bennies and cash them in, you crazy? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it, Daddy-O. 3.1 versus 2.5. Yep. Old homebodies, counting my change and waiting on the world to change. There you go. Counting change, waiting on the world to change. There's a country song or something there somewhere, right? Throw in some non-Bud Light beer, good to go. Loss of a, good-looking woman, never getting her back. Good old country song. All right. I had to break out a decent cigar today for the Litecoin halving. Litecoin God on Twitter, he had pointed that out a few days back. What you gonna smoke on the halving day, Westwood? What kind of cigar? And I'm like, I don't know. He's got a Cohiba Cuban style cigar I think he was gonna smoke. So what I did, I broke out a Monte Cristo. Let me get it right. Got the label. I always take the labels off. I don't know. Yeah, Monte Cristo, it's a Nicaragua series, the 1935 anniversary. It's got a really good flavor, and so that's what I've got to celebrate today. So it's pretty cool to watch technology work and do what it's supposed to do, because the rules were defined. And even though the rules are defined, sometimes you're like, well, I hope it works. And then when it works, you're just like, okay, pretty awesome. And it really is. It's like Hannibal says, I love it when a plan comes together, right? Reference to the A-Team. Yeah, dirt roads, dogs, beer, girl problems, millions right there for a songwriter. That's exactly it. It's I am for I am. Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, gravel roads, dirt roads. World needs more gravel roads, more dirt roads. Be a better place, I think. Slow us down a little bit. We'd appreciate things. Maybe break down once in a while, change a flat, and have to actually stop and listen to the birds and nature and appreciate the fact that hey, I am alive and able to do this. It's frustrating, but why am I in a hurry? What am I in a big hurry for? Where am I going? I guess that's it. You're rushing to nowhere. There's a book like that. What is it? Rushing to nowhere, something, I don't know, similar title. But that's just got to take stock in the things that matter. Quit getting upset about those things that really don't matter. Focus on the real, focus on those things in here that are important. You've always known it, so let's just start doing it. Let's just let's start taking that journey and taking that step. And so again, yeah, the crypto journeys, I hope Lisa does more of those. She's got some more open slots, I think, on her channel. So it's pretty cool to see good people telling their story, because we all have just an encyclopedia of stories that we can all tell. And it's really neat to make that connection and see similarities in our paths. Warrior, your interview yesterday, it was really cool. Really was. On Twitter, what is it? It's 32. 32 Benny, is that it? Or Benny 32. Let's take a look. Follow him if you're on Twitter. You want to do that. You don't want to not do that. Man, I got this. Let me look. I can't ever remember. Yeah, 32 Benny. So go at 32 Benny with a capital B and it'll come up. Go follow him. Cool dude. Check him out on Spaces on Friday nights. And check him out yesterday on Litecoin Lisa's channel and watch that discussion. Really cool life you led, man. I'm vibing with you. I get it. You're doing what you got to do, and you're figuring it out and listening to yourself, trusting yourself, and it's good stuff. No, it's absolutely good stuff. All that is, that's it. All that is. All that is. All right, that's Wednesday. I've said enough. I love y'all. I really do. I appreciate everybody for hopping in here, and well, most of you. No, I appreciate everybody. We all have a different journey. That's what it is. You know, it is what it is. Let people be people. You know, trust yourself and take your path. And don't let other people tell you, you know, hey, that's the wrong way. You shouldn't do that. You know, if it's the wrong way, it's meant to be. It's meant for you to, your lesson here, to discover that on your own. You know, it's hard to live vicariously through somebody else's mistakes. I can see that, you know, I've had the ability to do that to where I don't need to go burn myself. I don't need to go do certain things. Other things I have to do. You know, it's like, nope, I'm going to do it. I don't care. I'm going to see what happens. I know I can do it. And when, you know, you fall down, you realize, you know, maybe I shouldn't have taken that path. But you know what? Sometimes you got to take it. You got to do it on your own. And you've got to feel that pain. You've got to feel that experience so that it changes you and puts you in the place where you were born to be. And I think we're all born to do certain things here. We came here to do certain things, and we just have to make sure we do those things. And sometimes life has to, you know, kick us around a little bit to get us, okay, you're kind of going down the wrong way. You need to go down this way. All right, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have been doing this. All right, now I'm going this way. And that's our journey. That's our path, is what it is. All right. Hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you for hopping in. Tomorrow is Thursday. And what does Thursday bring? Hey, Jim, I'm glad you're in here. Jim Montgomery, I saw you. I don't think I mentioned you. Howie One in here. Absolutely. Getting a new windshield. Found a bar. Hey, there you go. It's always good to find a bar. And not the kind of bar where lawyers hang out. No, not that bar. No, not a sandbar's good. But no, a bar where they've got refreshments. All right, so tomorrow, that's Friday, happy hour. Tomorrow, we're going to have Let's Hash It Out on Dave's channel. I don't know what they're barking at. They see more than we do, I guess, so who knows. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. As far as I know, it's 5 p.m. Central Time to 7 p.m. Central Time on Blind Dave's channel. I've got a link in the description below to last week's video that we did, our discussion. This week, I'm interested to get into some Digibyte stuff with Johnny Law. He saw some things going on in Digibyte with mining here in the last few days regarding script. Almost like somebody was stress testing the Digibyte network for some reason or another. So I want to get into that a little bit and hash that out tomorrow on the show. So come check that out. Piques my interest, and we'll have that discussion. As far as I know, it's going to be at 5 p.m. Central Time. It may be a little bit earlier. Not really sure. Steak's really late, you know, in Europe. Has to go to bed and work the next day, so we'll see. But stay tuned to Blind Dave's channel. Check it out. Subscribe to him. Put the notifications on when he has a video. And then, of course, on Friday, the world famous happy hour with the lovely Litecoin Lisa and the crude, more crude, Clint Westwood. 4 p.m. Central Time, happy hour on Litecoin Lisa's channel. Come check it out. I love the chat. I love, you know, this interaction. It's very good to have this, to build community out, and nothing better than people. Nothing better than that big hug. All right. Hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. Thanks for hopping in. Always trust yourself. Don't trust the vampires. They just want your energy. That's all they want. All right. Love you all. Have a great day.